game two rather, and see how this all goes. You know, drafts like this kind of scare me, John. I hate seeing mid trolls and crap like that win, because then the next thing you know, you're seeing it in your pub game and you just don't understand what's going on. As apparently Pakistan's getting shouted out here by Sadman. Very, very good. Good luck, Giant, from B-God. Again, B-God was feeling the aura of Giant in his room. So, be polite, B-God. Giant has not said a word.
Come on, Giant. Give me the Giga Chad build. The 203. The hater build, as me and my friends call it, because you just don't want them to play the game. You're a hater. If you're a Lion player that does 203, I absolutely hate you. It's the worst thing to play against, Mike. I swear. You
know what? Real Giga Chads would go 023, John. That's what real Giga Chads do.
023. You're terrible.
Could you imagine?
That's terrible.
Could you imagine?
What's wrong with you?
Just imagine.
Why did you think of that?
But think about it. How, you're talking about making people mad and being annoying. How mad would they be if you had level 2 Hex, level 3 Mana Drain, and no points in Earth Spike?
Your team would be mad. Not necessarily the enemy. Your team would be very mad.
It'd be so good. Anyway, 3 bounty runes going to the way of the Cut, apparently. So the Cut get away with a lot more gold to get things started. Happy days for them. American Goons, they weren't actually interested in contesting for the second. So there's that. They kind of just let that one go. And I suppose it is probably based off the fact that their level 1 timings look really weak right now. Regardless of that, though, mid lane, MTD, Aeon going at it. You would have to argue this should actually be troll favored.
It's I don't know if it's I'm racking my brain. I just never run into this one. I'd say it's even. Maybe the Ember can kind of eke it out by, say, level 3, level 2 Flame Guard with Sleight of Fist. You don't have a way of really purging that off. You don't have enough damage to purge that off on Aeon. At the same time, Troll can just play with range, play with a Whirling Axe to clear out a wave. So it's not unplayable. I'd say this is a more even lane, depending on outplays, but it ends up being a bit of a farming lane until, say, level 5 to 6. That's where things can really kick in with maybe support rotations. Rune control is much bigger for Aeon, so I think that's the one thing he has to think about in this lane for sure. Just rune management, water rune, power rune usage. And if that is denied away from some early movements from the Goons, then the Ember can start to feel a little bit suppressed there.
So yeah, it does pan out. Like bottom lane as well. RA Sadman going to be up against Empyrean and Boris. Yeah, a little bit of annoying lane against the older Titan. Obviously, the Razor pick was against the Troll, but now they're against the Drow Ranger, which doesn't feel very nice as they go for the Cast Scout, but Empyrean's got the Spirit out first, so Empyrean could actually try and turn around, but he's going to go for the run instead. Ade is going for a deep dive past the Tier 1 tower, but will not be able to secure the kill. He takes more damage on the way out than he does give to Empyrean. And as the levels do go up down in this bottom lane, like for American Goons end of things, this bottom lane can be quite devastating. Like, you get the nice setup with the Astral Spirit bonus damage and you add the Drow Slow on top. It can be really damn painful.
That it can be, but you can't underestimate Witch Doctor with Maledict. And with how well that cask just chain stuns now. It can be really oppressive. The lane is set up in a pretty decent spot for them, shoved into the Tier 1, but it will shove back out now. So there's some room for the Cut to play and try to chase down. But as long as they're not able to close this gap onto Boris, then that kill threat shouldn't be coming out. And that's where Empyrean's shining, just putting his body forward there. Still, you can take a look at the other lanes, looking up top. You have Lil Nick on that Thermosaw. You have Giant, of course, on his Giant Lion. Up against Scourge McDuck on his signature Naga that we've seen him literally play almost all of his games on. And B-God on the Bounty. This lane is not as straightforward for, like, Bounty Naga. This is a lot more passive. I don't think you can really build off of this one too well. You can't really threaten the Timbersaw. Lil Nick will have control, and he is building up quite nicely here, suppressing Scourge McDuck from farming. Not like Giant can really do too much, but that does allow him to walk around to get some vision, take some runes, maybe look for a kill threat if things open up here for MTD.
Not too much action happening across the map. Still First Blood yet to be drawn. And speaking of First Blood, looks like B-God's going to rotate down towards the bottom lane on the bounty. See if he can set up a kill for his team down at this bottom. It can be a little bit risky, though, going into an Elder Titan like this. They want Boris, of course. He's the much easier target, the much more important target. Problem is, you've got to dive the Tier 1 for this. They've got the creep wave. Empyrean already out with the stomp. Will catch one in the Witch Doctor, but they don't know B-God's coming. Now they will. Boris getting the surprise of his lifetime. Dived right underneath the tier 1 tower. Maybe gets a kill before he goes down, and he does. Empyrean secures first blood. They do at least get first blood before they lose their drow. Zade still running. Earth Spike's going to be there, though. And Zade will go down. Empyrean able to pick up the double kill. And that is definitely not worth the trouble, I'll tell you. Giving first blood and a double over to the Elder Titan. Not a great feeling here for the cut.
No, I mean, you do manage to slow down Boris a bit, but you're leaving your Naga alone in the lane that's already hard, so there's no poke back really coming out onto Lil Nick on his Timb. You do force the tri-lane bot, but that's not something to Drow minds too much. You know, it's more heroes to kind of split apart the cask bounces. It's more heroes to put bodies forward for Boris, and you can get aggressive. Drow with 1-1-1 build does have a lot to play with, so you have to respect that here on the side of the cut. Maybe just set their sights onto mid. This is a mid troll. You can bully it.
You certainly can. MTD not realizing, though, he's going to go for the man fight. Gets the ensnare off Aeon. Aeon, not like this. Oh, he gets a kill. He gets the kill. My God. Oh. Gives the tip over to MTD, and I'm not sure if it was actually a BM tip or not, quite frankly, because it really seemed like he was about to die.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was BM at all. Like, the clutch melee whirling axes coming out was pretty damn big. Good dodge out from Aeon, though, with a sleight of fist coming right in the nick of time. No detection coming out mid, so they could just bully. Again, troll before 6, really easy target to go for in general, and that is the right move, right? Like we talked about it, declump bot, head mid, find this easier pick off, and slow down MTD, because I'm still not sure what build he goes for the troll as they are jumping Empyrean.
Ooh, Empyrean bottom lane. Tries for the stomp, the cast will cancel. Empyrean is going to die. Nice pick off there from the cut. Sadly, Boris can do nothing because he's just a Drow Ranger at level 3. In fact, Boris, he can do something, and that's kind of dying right now if he's not too careful. Sadman will see him. Boris playing with fire, not realizing the bounty is around the corner. And hell, they didn't even need the bounty. They'll use him, though. Ade will take another kill for himself on the Razor, and Boris maybe just getting a little bit too excited. Speaking of excited, Giant. Earth Spike will be out to stop the Witch Doctor chase, but B-God is also chasing. Does land the stun, has the Orb of Venom to slow him down, and with the Maledict, it's going to be more than enough for Giant to go down. B-God so far having some great impact on the bounty.
I'm liking this combination.
MTD?
Witch Doctor plus Bounty Hunter, huh?
Here we go again.
Could happen again.
MTD? I mean, he's got Battle Trance and he's got the Invis. Aeon's going to show up to boot. They don't have a Sentry. They cannot see MTD at the moment. He's going to be just fine. But I love the amount of aggression coming from the cut this game. They are not slowing down. Here comes B-God again. Mind you, this time they do have a Lion there. So it is a 3v3 once the Witch Doctor has made its reappearance.
Yeah, this combination is just so brutal, though. Boris?
Boris. Oh, boy. That's a bit rough. He's going to be able to walk out of this one for now. The chase still ongoing, but oh, hold on a minute. B-God. B-God the one to go down. Boris the one to survive. Very close call, though. Very, very close.
Giant. What a player. Just the perfect Earth Spike coming out to cut off that aggression. But no Witch Doctor around. Like, they need that combination. What's giving them these kills is the Maledict Janata strike. Like, that's it. Like, it's just it's a positive feedback loop of damage just stacking up on such a low cooldown. Without that Maledict, it's much harder to look for that burst play onto Boris. So you will need that Witch Doctor. You will need to at least have this 2-man support rotation every single time. And again, with all that movement down bot, sure, you're kind of denting down Boris's farm. He's not doing too well, but Lil Nick is having the freest game of his life. Vanguard up on the Timbersaw, free space up top lane. MTD's not doing too shabby either on his mid. Still ahead of Aeon, despite that death. There are some tools here for the Goons, despite losing out in this drought lane.
B-God again sneaking up from the backside. There's still no detection hanging around there. However, they have already found Sadman on the Witch Doctor, so Sadman will go down. B-God still hunting Boris. Aeon actually moving in as well. The Remnant does find him as Giant now is being chased. Aeon, Ade, he'll get the kill. The Lion down as Empyrean trying to go for the stomp out. Does land on an MTD. Shows up with a double damage rune. The Troll Warlord
Oh.
making rotations. So Lil Nick finds a double. A 2-for-2 trade by the looks of it. The only issue being for American Goons is they continue to lose Boris on the Drow. So it's almost feeling like MTD might need to start transitioning to play POS 1.
He might have to. It's going to take a lot of space for Boris to kind of kick into gear. Still level 5 as well in the Drow. You don't have that synergy of the marksmanship plus troll just yet. But once you do, that can be quite devastating. I am concerned about all the space that you are giving Scourge McDuck. We've seen him in many games like this, where he's left alone to farm. He can just snowball hard. They are still keeping constant track. The instant root. Fortunate for Bigod, but does have the envy at least.
Oh, dust this out. Does connect. Bigod will get stomped. Aeon trying to chase the older Titan. Meanwhile, Bigod accepting the fact that he's just dead. Aeon could not stop the TP attempt from Empyrean, so Empyrean's just fine. Aeon, sadly, no points in the chains at the moment. Now remnanting back into Lil Nick. Lil Nick just wanting the courier instead. Does manage to pick it up. Chase is on now for the Timber, but he's fine. Sandman, only level 4 at the moment. Couldn't even threaten with the Death Ward yet. You know, I mean, it's still a very close matchup between these two. The cut's steadily ahead in terms of net worth, but it does still seem like a very close start to this game too.
That it is, but this is playing into the cut's earlier timings. Like, this lineup's less greedy from the cut. They've got much earlier aggression. Once you've got the track coming in as well, that's going to be a major factor in a lot of these pickoffs and just trying to snowball off. And you still have the space for Scourge McDuck. They are going for a smoke play out now. Sadman and Aeon looking for connection down bot. Still no level 6 on Sadman, but Maldic plus Ember might just be enough here.
We'll try. Moving in. Oh, smoke broken a little bit early. Sadman does manage to land a stun on Giant. Giant still running though, as now a 2-man stomp will come out from Empyrean, but seems like they've seen enough. They'll leave the area for now. Aeon, however, not done. He wants to chase a bit more, but will not be able to keep up. They'll head south by the tier 1 tower. Bigod's going to hang around the area, but this time around they have placed a sentry preemptively for this rotation. Problem is Giant's already been found out and is going to die. Nice pick up here for Aeon. Keep in mind, now you've got the track up, so the gold does increase a hell of a lot. As well as all the vision you're going to get here for Aeon. Jump in onto Empyrean. That'll be another track kill to come here for the Ember. Suddenly he's just got 900 gold in the bank account. Top lane. Well, looks like they were going to try for the Naga Siren, but she just TP's out.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a lack of disables when those supports aren't around here. Your core's not the most reliable in trying to get that done. And Bigod still doing his job, just tracking Boris, having impact across the map.
How good is that? The party hat on the bounty hunter doesn't go in peace.
No, it's there.
You got
to show it off.
Damage. Look at Bigod. He's just soloing Boris. Boris might die. Empyrean does save. Bigod will drop for this, but my god. That was a little bit too close for comfort, I'll tell you. As Bigod will hand the tip over. Just letting Boris know that that isn't the last time that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's a hard game for Boris. He has no form. He has no items. This bounty hunter is within 700 gold of him. He's around half the net worth of Scourge McDuck, around that point. So it's going to take so long for this Drow. It's really down to Lil Nick to open this game up for them.
MTD's going to be very cautious, like just chasing down this Witch Doctor. Sure, you can hope for the roots to come out, but that Death Ward, we've seen how much pure damage it deals with the Metal Dict. It's a lot of damage. You might be able to pop Battle Trance, but the thing is, the Metal Dict damage afterwards might just kill you anyway.
And it would. You don't have enough of a trance duration for you to live through. You have to time it to around a halfway mark. Smoke out from the cut off the back of that movement. MTD still staying top.
Go for a bit of a run, but Bigod is going to be able to get the track off very, very soon. In fact, chains are out from Aeon to set up perfectly, though MTD still trying to get out. Cask will be thrown, Melodic out. He'll go for the Battle Trance, at least finding one perhaps in the Witch Doctor, but eventually he should just die. And he will. Still a very favorable trade for the cut. Aeon now being chased by Empyrean, but they could not land the stomp. So another nice pickup from the cut.
Yeah, just punishing. This lineup from Goons just so greedy.
Bottom. Boris, he's just getting dived by the tier 2 tower. Giant will rotate just in the nick of time, though, has the finger up as well. And Ade, he will get punished for trying to go for the dive in. Giant with a fantastic rotation.
That's what they need. Giant again with a Giant play, saving Boris in the nick of time. But they need so much more space. Like, there's just no pressure being relieved here for Boris, no pressure being relieved for MTD. And we are getting a farming... Oh.
A cheeky little Earth Spike lands onto B-God. Giant, though, will die for their trouble. So Aeon... I mean, Aeon on the Ember's really starting to pop off. He's doing all this without that much net worth either. Like, he has not stuck around to farm very long. He's at, what, almost 6k net worth at the moment, but he's found 5 kills for himself. And of course, he can rely on the track gold bonuses from B-God to really help him escalate in terms of that net worth.
Yeah. It's like, it's just ramping up. They know how to play here on the cut. Just play off the back. All these pickoffs you can get with B-God. Empyrean just being dived under the tier 3 a bit.
Oh, B-God's just doing so much damage. Like, just the phase boots alone with the urn, it's just so much damage you can deal. Though B-God may have gone a bit far, though he does juke out the stomp, but now Empyrean might be in trouble again because B-God is just not done. But he will die. B-God's going a bit too far. Thing is, Boris is being chased in the meantime. They found the Drow Ranger. She'll go for the silence, she'll go for the man fight, but they've got the kill. It's one of the things, like, B-God, he sacrifices himself to allow these plays to happen. There's a Death Ward out on Lil Nick. Lil Nick not blocking any of that damage off, but it won't matter because Sadman is still going to drop his MTD now, moving in onto the Ember Spirit. It looks like they've got Aeon. A perfect setup from Empyrean. Another double kill as well. A really just back and forth kind of game here between these two teams.
A lot of back and forth. This does still feel fairly favorable for the cut, but they have to watch these losses because your late game scaling, it's decent enough. I think the Naga matchup is not as straightforward as you'd want for a Naga game. I think you're relying way more on your Razor to kind of just take away the impact of your Troll, for the Ember to kind of cut off this Drow. If you don't manage to do that, if Boris manages to recover, that's where things get a little bit dicey, despite the farm and Scourge McDuck. So I have to watch those losses just a little bit, but overall it's still in a good spot for the cut. 2k advantage still standing. The side of the American Goons starting to group down bot though. If they spot someone like Ade out, it's not too hard of a kill here.
Oh, B-God though, he's getting a lot of vision. You see Empyrean leaves, they just jump Boris. Like, just really nice plays from B-God. Like, he just sees the Empyrean Elder Titan leaving the area for a second, and he just makes the call, like, let's just jump the Drow immediately. Very, very clever.
Yeah. And just no room. Not even the tier 2 tower is safe for the Drow with the numbers that the cut are bringing in. And you're playing on the opposite side of the map. Can you really threaten to Scourge McDuck though? Does have the Manta up, but doesn't feel like it's enough.
He's a big kill. He's a big kill with the finger. The finger does prove to be enough in the end. Sadman though, a huge cast now into the Death Ward onto MTD, who does have Battle Trance. He's gonna pop it, trying to go after Aeon. He'll turn onto Ade. The disarm though, making it very hard to survive or get any damage off, so MTD just melts. This Heaven's Halberd from Ade is going to be a real problem for MTD. They'll go back on a B-God. B-God dying to Empyrean, but now Lil Nick in trouble on the Timber, cannot chain away. He'll chain point blank. Giant in the meantime getting tipped as he's trying to juke out of the tree line. Sadman just telling him, mate, just you've got no chance.
Yeah, he's tracked off. He's just trying to buy some space. Cut off that chase onto Empyrean. Big kills coming out for the cut. I mean, they find the Naga for the Goons, but again, it's just not enough. The follow-through is there. You're still having to deal with Troll versus Razor. And you're seeing the effect of Witch Doctor. I'm sure it got nerfed a little bit in the Death Ward, but man, this paralyzing cast change is really what pushes this hero over the top. Like, the chain stunning is just ridiculous. There's no counterplay until you get your BKBs up here. And that's a lot of time that they have to wait for on the side of Goons to have all of these BKBs up and running.
Oh, MTD, he's thinking about going in. He's got no Battle Trance available, though, and he's a bit early to the party, but he will Manta off the chains and be able to escape, as now Lil Nick will take over on the front lines. Stomp is out. Will land on nothing. Nobody caught. And it seems like both sides will kind of just agree to leave for now. Fight another time, another place. Thing is, like, the cut, it just favors them to not fight as well, right? Like, as long as Scourge is not being hunted in the Naga, he is well and truly just pulling ahead of everyone. There is really no keeping up with him at the moment. Boris is forced to build a Midas to try and keep up. It's just such a difference between the Drow, the Naga, and even the Troll. Just, it's not proving to be anywhere near enough yet.
No, certainly isn't. Again, you're going to need a lot of time on the Goons, but that's also time you're bleeding out to the Naga. Don't manage to connect the stun onto Sad Man here. It's the top engage, probably not going to happen. They have to watch Boris to save this Drow.
Oh, I mean, maybe they have to watch Sad Man. Sad Man just kind of walking in like a Giga Chad does get punished for it. Sad Man just does not care, apparently. Are they? Oh, he's okay for now, but the Earthsplit is going to fly out, landing onto the Razor. They do at least kill off Giant. The thing is, you have this mid-troll Warlord, so there's no follow-up. Or maybe there is. Maybe with Lil Nick around, maybe they can jump back in. Ade gets targeted. Ade's gone. Boris? Spirit Vessel out, trying their best to at least secure the Drow Ranger. Boris eventually gonna die to Aeon. But now Aeon needs to get out. He only has one remnant left. That'll be the last one. The chase can continue from Lil Nick. As long as they can hold him down a little bit longer. Aeon may have just sacked himself with the Drow kill. And it seems like he has officially, though. Here comes Sad Man. Sad Man with the cast. Unable to save, but he does at least get the Melodic off onto MTD, who's probably just dead. He can't heal up. He's got no battle trance. He doesn't have the mana.
No mana.
How sad.
Creeps don't kill him. Dies to the Maledic. It's unfortunate, but you know, honestly, it's still a little bit of a win for the Goons, right? Like, you managed to find some kills. Sure, you're still losing Boris, but you're holding your own. The lead is still building up for the cut, though. Like, every single time this happens, Scourge McDuck just gets bigger and bigger. And there's just no solution for this. We're not seeing the Maelstrom build up for MTD because, quite frankly, he can't afford to go for the Maelstrom. He has to go for that BKB. So you don't have your illusion clear outside of perhaps the mana drain if you get the shard and really Lil Nick. So I don't know, like this is still playing into what the cut wants. The Goons, they need more to come out from these fights. They need these BKBs, they need some saves, they need some more damage, and again, it's just time. But playing the time game against Naga, it's not a sound strategy overall.
No. That's the thing, like, Scourge McDuck is very close now to the heart of Tarrasque. Again, like, I don't mean to comment too much on the Boros farm at the moment, but it's not too impressive. Sitting at 8.7k net worth. And MTD is certainly not at the stage where he could really transition to that position one you'd hope for. So things are only getting more challenging against the cut, who are playing this draft rather well. I mean, big props to B-God, I feel like, as well on the bounty, because the game was very even until he got in, until he started making rotations down bottom. And even now, like, he scouted out Lil Nick, can make the call that the Timber's around this area. He has Spirit Vessel as well, don't forget. So if you had a +1, you might actually have a chance to taking down Lil Nick. But mind you, he does have a Lotus Orb as well, but you kind of get my point, John. If you had a couple more bodies, maybe you could secure his mid lane. MTD, speaking of bodies, MTD might just be dead. Does at least have to pop his ulti, but never does do so. He just tries to outrun the Razor, and it doesn't work. Giant, also slowed up by the Plasma Field, is certainly going to go down. And there's just nothing they can do about it. In fact, there's even more. B-God setting up for Empyrean and Lil Nick. Tracks are out, they've got the vision. And while all this is happening, John, Scourge is casually pushing the tier 3 bottom tower. He just doesn't care on the Naga, he's just doing it himself. Scourge gets stomped up, but does he actually get threatened in terms of his life? Like, Lil Nick's gonna try, but Scourge is actually just gonna stand his ground and go for the fight. With the heart up, it's not that easy to kill the Naga Sire.
Nah, it's a challenge. This game is just a giant challenge for the side of the Goons, no pun intended there for Giant. The cut are just playing so clean. Like, they recognize that the solo lane up top is something that the Naga can just dip in and out of the jungle of. They get this early rotation from B-God, and as you said, from that point onward, just snowballs out of control here for the Goons. This kind of boils back to the draft. Like, what was the actual idea of the troll? I'm pretty sure the original idea was really just to run it safe. But why? Why would you prioritize troll? As a safe laner, even. And, you know, MTD is doing as fine of a job as he can as a mid-troll, but it's just so greedy. You know, we talked about this when we were casting the first few games that we were watching on the NA qualifiers, but this patch favors a lot of aggression. You're not seeing that much aggression this time around from the goons. It's all on the cut. They're the ones forcing all this movement out.
Yeah, I mean, the cut are doing fantastic here in game 2 for sure. Trying to keep the dream alive of a game 3 happening for us. We'll see if it does come through. Roshan, first Roshan of the game is going to go down by the looks of it. The cut will be able to secure just fine. Aeon will take the Aegis. Here we go. We'll see if they can find another fight into a high ground attempt. It's hard to know what you do as goons in a game like this. Like when you've got a drow troll that just aren't taking off. You know, you've got a Timbersaw, but he's against the Witch Doctor. Like at what point do they get strong enough to actually fight back now? Like 11k behind, it's... Surprisingly enough, the win probability is actually not too bad for them. It's at 40% for American Goons, so that's kind of interesting. So we do have a song out. I think MTD is going to get caught, and Snare will lock him down for a while. Help is incoming, at least from the end of the cut, but nothing for MTD. MTD is completely alone in all of this. He'll try for a run. He has a BKB available to boot. He will actually not get chained up. The chains will not land. Meanwhile, mid lane, Empyrean's getting chased down by B-God, but B-God's been caught. Giant will give him the finger. What?
Still a little bit greedy in that dive. If you manage to maybe pull your resources together there for the cut, that chase down on MTD would have paid off. You know, force out the DD. It might still pay off.
A sad man. Melodic on into MTD. MTD will be okay to back off. Prediction, by the way, Jonathan. I believe the next nerf to Witch Doctor, because there will be another nerf coming, I predict that they're going to make Melodic not be able to go through the BKBs and stuff like that.
That kills the hero, man. That hero's just gonna be so dead.
I think that's what's going to happen.
MTD. I'm going to be very sad.
I know you will, John. Aeon. He's okay.
Oh.
Instead, they're going to go after Ade with the battle trance. MTD, he might have the damage this time, and he will. He should drop due to this, though. And he's still trying, but does go down. At least finding the Razor before he does go. But in comes Aeon. Onto the line. He wants Giant down, but he's kind of surrounded. Aeon. He'll lose the Aegis at the very least. Try to abuse the secondary life as Scourge McDuck's going to move in to boot on the Naga. They'll try to go after the Timbersaw, and, well, sadly, nobody can help Lil Nick out. Empyrean is trying with the stomp, but it is not going to work in their favor. Another successful team fight for the cut. Only really losing one hero and one Aegis on top. Not too big of a deal.
Yeah, I'm not sure if MTD's Manta was on cooldown when he popped his Battle Trance, because he popped Battle Trance, he instantly got Spirit Vesseled. He couldn't lifesteal True. If he could have lifestealed, that could have been a much better circumstance coming out there for the goons. So just a little bit late on the Manta, perhaps it was on cooldown. And the cut again just building up. 20 to 24, 12k lead. This Naga Siren's just on top of the world right now with the build up. And the solutions for the goons aren't straightforward. They've got to play a perfect game. They've got to find their angles. They need to enable these two really greedy cores to just get online here. Like, if you hit this Mjolnir timing for MTD, the game becomes a lot more playable, but that's a lot of gold you still need in that hero.
Boris is okay for now. Lil Nick moving forward. They've actually caught Aeon, and they've actually got the damage. The finger out. Aeon's gone. Here comes a song from Scourge, but they have to run. They've left B-God behind, though. B-God will drop. Boris will take the kill. And I'll tell you what, I mean, these finger charges are starting to stack up, John. He's at 5 now. It's a plus 200.
That's a lot of output coming out here for Giant. Giant damage for Giant on his Giant finger.
Yeah.
It's going to have a good time once he hits its level 15. A lot more HP for him to stand up in front, not get insta-burst down. And the lead for the cut, I mean, it's still in their way, but it's fluctuating quite a fair bit. This is not what you want to see. Again, like, you had a good start. You're in control. You're almost 30 minutes in. But if this game drags on to, say, the 60-minute mark, with two scaling cores, two big hard carry cores on the side of the American Goons, things can go southbound in a flash if you're not careful. Right? There's always this potential that you're dragged into a late game scenario with more ultra late carries on one side, and it just makes the game near impossible to try to look around. Granted, for the cut, you've got Ember and Naga, which scale pretty well. You've got Witch Doctor, who could always potentially go for the Ags, and that is still very busted when you manage to pick that up. And Razor could always go for something like the Refresh. But there's a lot of question marks as the game scales on, as long as the side of the Goons maintain farm parity. And if you look at the net worth bars right now, it is at parity. You're actually not that far behind on your cores outside of Scourge McDuck being ahead. So in a sense, you have farm parity on hand here for the Goons removing the Naga Siren. That's not really a good picture for the cut, where they want to be ahead on every hero with these track kills. It just slowed down a little bit too much.
That's fair, and you can see the highlight on the mana drain, right? Like, it's just, you know, three of your illusions just getting removed immediately as the Naga kind of just makes it a pretty pointless kind of hero. As though Nick actually going to be able to escape as they made the jump in with MTD. And Snare's coming out, they've caught Aeon. Aeon, he can't escape. Aeon just getting constantly rooted up by MTD. And now the Naga, she'll try to run. MTD, he'll just keep going. But he's been locked down for a little bit. Sadman cannot make it, I don't think, because Giant is there with the Earth Spike. No mana for the finger.
Oh, Giant.
He doesn't have the mana for the finger, Jonathan.
And it happens. You know, it happens. It's such a giant finger. It's very constant to cast, Mike. He needs a giant mana pool, and he doesn't really have anything to pad his stats right now. So, a little bit tougher, but overall, it's another win for the Goons. And it's these kinds of wins that you can't afford to give, because it's bleeding out the lead on your other cores. It's allowing this catch-up for the Goons. Your lead's down to 9k. All if it's just on the Naga.
All jokes aside, right? Like, Giant might actually be the MVP of this game, like, based off the way he's playing. He might actually be. Because like, if they won this game, like, even just him mana draining the Naga, the illusions in the middle of a team fight, like, it's just so big. Because it really does make it so this 23k net worth hero can't play as it's meant to be played.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, you take out the nuisance of the Naga, you take out her constant illusion spam, her vision, her information, her reptides coming out. It's such a huge reduction for a Naga to play into a straight counter. And again, you're still itemizing for counters here anyway. You've got the Maelstrom up on MTD going for the Ags next. They are going for a smoke play here on the side of the Goons.
Here we go. B-God. I mean, he's in position to break this smoke, but they seem to be a little bit aware that he might be around. Smoke broken. Boris and MTD going to show themselves. B-God will hand the information over, but they seem to know he's south somewhere and they're going to find him. All right, that's one down. Luckily, still 20 seconds away for Roshan to tell us when it's respawn. If you are the cut, you do not want to lose Roshan like this.
No.
12 seconds to tell us when Roshan is respawning. They've smoked up on the cut. A big team fight to break out. This one means Roshan, potentially, if it's an early respawn. And it is not.
Oh. I think that's actually really fortunate for the Goons. Forcing a Roche fight into Naga Song just sounds really scary if you don't find Naga first. They are forcing this fight, though.
They've got Ags up on Empyrean, John. He's got the BKB with the Astral Spirit now. That it's very scary, even as a pos 5. This hero with the Ags up, like Empyrean, he can make some magic happen. And speaking, he's 7-2-14, by the way, on this Elder Titan. Might I just add, 7-2-14 is the scoreline of the Elder Titan at the moment. That's impressive.
That is, and this vision as well coming out from the Goons is very impressive, cutting them off at the Lotus Pool.
I mean, the cut, like, they've had such a good game. Like, it's hard to see them losing this one, and it would be very hard to watch them lose this one as Aeon. The thing is, like, the cut, they don't know they're on division this whole time. They're being watched all the time, and they have no idea. Props to the Goons for not making any early jumps. You know, not revealing that there's vision.
Playing it
waiting
patiently.
for the right moment.
And this is such a long way to
Jump in.
Oh,
They want
that's
Ade,
huge.
but the cask, sad man from the back, make it so hard. But Ade's still been caught. MTD trying to get the job done himself, but he doesn't have the damage. The link, it takes all the damage away. They've got to get out of there. Lil Nick in danger as well. He'll chain towards the west, or rather eastern side. Meanwhile, Aeon does die. Boris cleaning up Sad Man and the Ember. Lil Nick taking everyone's attention away. He will die for the greater cause. But it ends up being a 2-for-2. I think you still say in the favor of American Goons, though, considering they're the ones behind at the moment.
Yeah, still a win, but not as good of a fight that you'd want for the Goons. You don't have the battle trance up on MTD. Ags is being worked on. It's almost done. That is a massive spike for the troll. But he needs a little bit more time. And Roshan, it's coming out in 40 seconds. They have to retake control, shove back the lane, and fight into that. They cannot afford to give another rush out to Aeon.
Scourge.
Killing that Ember twice is tough.
Scourge, he's getting very aggressive here, trying to go after MTD, but Boris is going to sneak up from the backside. Oh, what a stomp. Empyrean, what a setup.
Oh,
there
my
goes
God.
Ade. Bigot's trying to help out, but what do you do? They're still trying after MTD. They just can't do it, though. The mana drain, it just removes all the illusions. They've lost Ade, though he does have buyback at least. Scourge trying to move back in. MTD, he's got the battle trance off, going after Sadman, but the cast is doing so much work. MTD forced to go after the Naga, but he is dead. No buyback available. Going after Empyrean, they'll find another. Huge kills coming out from the cut. 3 down. And Roshan, it is available. But they've got to head to the other side of the map.
Yeah, they stalled it out long enough that at the very least there's a journey across the map first, but a big win for the cut. Having Roche access now is going to be massive. Maybe a little bit of a misplay from Giant. Like, he didn't manage to connect more heroes on that red spike than he'd want to. I think that kind of cost them the cleanup crew of Boris. If they managed to nail more stuns, then you could have got the spacing necessary for the Drought to clean up a little bit better. Roche going their way, Aegis Cheese coming out here for the cut. No contest coming out from the American Goons anytime soon. But that was also a bit of a forced fight from the Goons, right? Like they were trying to retake lane control, shoving it back out to get control over Roche. And it's just a little bit awkwardly split up. So the cut, they've got the tools now to maybe pressure onto the high ground, a secondary life on Aeon, Cheese up for Ade. And this is still a little bit of a topsy-turvy game for the Goons. It's really close, but you still have the natural issue of Troll versus Razor. You see what happens when the static link does manage to go off. It does feel like you almost want something like a Linken's on your Troll here, but that's a hard ask for MTD to find. He is going for the Basher, and he does have Yags. So at the very least, he has some self-dispel on hand. But again, it's down to execution, and the cut, as long as they don't give these weird openings where B got just too far forward, this game is pretty much in their control. Full butterfly up as well for Scourge.
Sadman almost gave the opening you just spoke about there for a second, John. Jesus. Hopefully he does make his way out. A few D wards to come in from Empyrean. Well, the cut still respecting American Goons quite a lot here in this game too. Regardless of the net worth and Aegis advantage they have right now, they understand that this game is not as simple as it looks. And the fact that Gaben's still giving a 43% chance to American Goons, like, the chance went up by 3%. And they just took the Aegis. That tells you something. MTD. Aggressive position, but will not get jumped by the tier 2 Tau. I mean, he does have Empyrean and Giant behind him. Here comes Scourge. He'll reveal himself. B-God's going to be there to boot with the track, but a lot of hesitation. They are not feeling confident to just rush into MTD, who's maybe thinking about going after the Tormentor. Not very well advised, though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So the tier 2 will eventually drop. There's not really much in the way of protecting this.
Radiant's top
So that's
tower
gone.
has fallen.
Can they actually think about high ground? I kind of doubt it. Seems like the Tormentor might just be the option they'll have to go for. And they'll get it. Ade will take it for himself. So now he's got the pullback with the static link.
Oh, yeah. That is a nightmare for MTD. Has no way of pushing himself out. It's not like he wants to go for a 4-staff or Hurricane Pike himself. So you'll have to rely on your team to kind of bail you out there. Simplifies the game for the cut by a good margin. No outer control left here for the side of the goons. And it's all down to just playing high ground. Their high ground play is pretty damn good though. Like with Elder Titan, with a Drow, your high ground is pretty smooth. You've got good angles to take here. And it does make it a little bit more awkward for the cut to try to capitalize on that Aegis. They will go out for a smoke though.
Oh, little Nick. Little Nick, he's okay. I think this is the big item that might make a big difference in this game. Like that Aghanim Scepter build up on Lil Nick. Like we've seen how impactful it can be. Having that reactive armor. Just being able to blow up so many people just jumping in and see if it does get to the point where it can pay off. American Goons still trying, still holding high ground. The cut still in a position where they should be able to close out this game eventually, but it's certainly looking like their game to lose at the moment. They will take their time. The thing is though, like you look at the Naga Siren, right? She's 6-slotted. You can buy a Moon Shard, you can buy an Ags upgrade, you can buy shards, but it's like you are running out of slots now. This is the point where it feels like you can farm the map forever, but in terms of actually getting stronger, you're starting to hit those limitations.
That you are. It does feel like you need to surrender some of that space out to the rest of your team, because, again, it is farm parity outside of the Naga here for the side of American Goons. Like, it's just that one outlier in the Naga, but everyone else is still neck to neck in terms of build-up. And with scaling lineup like the Goons, that's not a bad position to be in. They maybe need something helping with a Razor here.
You don't want to get caught like this. He's going to back off at the right time. I mean, he does have cheese, mind you, so he does have a way of trying to survive, but with the amount of the disable you've got on American Goons, you may not have the opportunity for a cheese if you do get caught with your pants down. He'll be under vision right now in the triangle, in fact, so the Goons could think about this, but there is backup for Ade. Sadman will reveal himself on the Witch Doctor. B-God will jump in. Lil Nick, he's already being targeted by the Death Ward usage, or the Voodoo Switcheroo rather, of Sadman, but he is able to get out on the Timberers. Well, Ade, he's in trouble. MTD almost had him, forced the cheese usage out of the Razor. Ade still trying to move forward as now they've caught Empyrean. So Scourge with the ensnare, ensuring they get the kill. It's like Giant also set to fall as well on the Lion. Though he is blinking towards the north, but the chase is still ongoing though. A nice Earth Spike. Giant, completely blind, just throws one out and actually lands right on the tip.
Oh, man.
The 4v5, the cut. It's finally their chance to go high ground. I say that. Song committed.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's a Death Ward. Or Voodoo Switcheroo, rather. Is wasted. However, they've got the jump in on Boris. Who are they going to try for? It looks like they want Giant on the line first. Get rid of that damn pesky support. Giant still surviving, will finally go down, but has buyback available. Meanwhile, MTD forced the man up. Does get the battle trance. Ade, or rather Aeon is gone, and now the Naga. Oh, they've got the Naga.
Oh my God.
Scourge McDuck is down. B-God, do not get... Oh, it's scary. It's scary every time. He's okay. He's going to make it.
That was a first hit bash. That's just a rage right there for B-God. He's
Yeah.
a very calm fellow, but, you know, he'd be raging inside for sure. He'd be seething. That was outstanding from the Goons. For the first part, they managed to outwait, you know, they wait out the Aegis, still force out a fight, force out the cheese earlier on. And then they take up this follow-up fight. We talked about how strong their high ground was. It looked awkward. The song stacking with the Voodoo Switcheroo, a little bit of a waste. It felt like they were looking for a jump in with a Cask Maledict into the Switcheroo. Instead, the song kind of stacked on top, so they miss out. And see Scourge McDuck giving the mag bad. I mean, the high ground siege happens fast. This is a troll, man. It doesn't take too long. Troll drow. Objectives melt.
The funniest thing was, John, in that team fight, you just... It's so annoying, this mana drain. It really is.
It
like,
is.
Just losing these illusions constantly, it's such an annoying thing for the Naga, and now suddenly you've lost the racks. You might be losing Ade. Ade's gone, perhaps. BKB. Oh, he's going to make it in time. Oh, it's hurting my heart to watch this happen to the cut, John. It's hurting me.
It's just they take their time.
Oh,
Yeah,
they got the racks.
They denied it.
They denied it. I think he actually would have saved it. I'm pretty sure
It
it would have
was so
survived.
low. It was
Yeah, but
way too low. I think just one
regen?
little right click from the illusion.
It could have
Yeah.
regened.
It could have, but yeah, I don't know. Like I don't mind that call. I think it's better safe than sorry, but that can cost them. That's a big racks fine. The smoke out. The confidence is back in for the side of goons. They're catching up to the Naga's farm. As you mentioned, Mike, there's no way for Scourge McDuck to scale further unless he drops his boot for a swift blink. Like this is
Yeah.
it. This is the end of the line. And then you have to deal with two heroes who aren't at the end of the line in itemization yet. The Troll and Drow. Still so much room to grow.
Oh, sad man. Forced to BKB and run. I mean, you've still got the Ags. You've still got a Moon Shard that you can build on this Naga. And you could also get rid of the treads. But I think the main issue is something we've kept talking about multiple times. It's the fact that these illusions just can't survive. Right? It's the whole strength of the hero. It just, like, they're not allowing Scourge to play Naga Siren. Like, he's playing Naga, but it's like a subpar Naga. It's like half a Naga, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just line to counteract, full Mjolnir up on MTD. It's tough to play your game. They're being really disciplined here on the goons, not giving any openings for split pushes. Just go back, defend their high ground, not gonna wait out Roshan, which is unfortunate. It's coming out in 20 seconds. It will be a nighttime Rosh up top. So the cut will have control of the area. They're in position for that one. Rosh number 3, if they take it up top, gonna have a refresh. Could lead to some pretty strong usage, especially for someone like Aeon here with the Ags.
Nick. Oh, Little Nick, this is very, very dangerous. Like, he's going in completely on his own, or rather with just Empyrean B-God, though. He's still being taken down. BKB is up. He will be able to get away for now. It's MTD. He got a lot of damage sapped away from him. He needs some time to reset. Ade, though, Ade, already lower than half HP. Will have to retreat, but he's used his BKB up. This is the fight, I think, for Goons to take. In goes the Voodoo Switcheroo from Sadman, right in the middle with the BKB. Meanwhile, Lil Nick still tanking through it. Sadman about to drop it now.
my
The Earth
God.
Splitter. It lands on all
Scourge.
4 heroes. Oh boy, the cut are falling apart as Aeon doesn't know which way he's going. Oh no.
No
That's
way.
4 down for the cut.
Oh
And
my
I think
God.
officially American Goons are the stronger team now.
They are. And they definitely are. They've got Roche control off
is
the bat of
hurting
that
me.
fight. That was unfortunate. I mean, I get the confidence from Ade. He got a pretty good duration static link. But man, you just can't force a fight like that.
That was
It's just-
the Earth Splitter jump. 4-hero Earth Splitter.
Yeah.
With the actual spirit. That was massive.
I mean, that's a straight line area, right? These side lanes, the lanes within the lanes, or the lanes beyond the lanes, they're so narrow. So something like Jakiro, which has been shining, and I think we saw it today, it's excellent with the Ags. The Elder Titan can do so much in such a weird, confined area. And the cut, I mean, their entire lead's gone. It's just a 5k lead. Again, all down to the Naga. Everyone else is lagging behind all these other cores.
Oh
And you're fully online in MTD. Full Abyssal up. Boris, he's had his Ags in the backpack for some reason. Probably has the Blessing coming in here. How do you stop these two cores? You just don't.
You certainly don't now. Like, this game looked impossible just 10 minutes ago. They are going to force MTD back a little bit, but Boris, he's the main damage dealer at the moment. He'll get it done. Ag's now fully completed on Little Nick. He's just bringing it out on the courier. And suddenly the cart, they're in a very precarious situation. 1 racks away from basically being out of the qualifiers, and B-God's already been caught. B-God trying to run with the BKB, but the chase is still ongoing. Sadman has to give his life up. Sadman's gone. He does have buyback at least as Lil Nick. He will get left behind for now, but this could be very dangerous as the Earth Spike is going to come in from Giant. Getting rid of the illusions again. They want the Lion down. They can't deal with him though. Giant's out of there. Now the Earth Splitter connecting on 3 again. The Naga Siren. Scourge McDuck in huge trouble. He'll get the song off though. Meanwhile, Aeon, he takes down he gets taken down. Sadman's gone a boot. This is not a meme. Giant is actually such a big problem. Like, how many times has Aeon jumped the back trying to kill this lion, and he just can't do it?
he has been so on point. Like his positioning to get these good mana drains off, his timing to come in with a finger. Mega creeps up for the goons. What a comeback.
What a
They've swung it
comeback
around.
indeed. What a I mean, they've got to try. This is their last chance to try and stay in the qualifiers here for the cut. Last chance at TI-12. Boris, MTD, Lil Nick, they're all still there looking for the jugular. Looking for the final nail on the coffin. The cut, trying to chip away, but they're doing literally no damage anymore. Onto the secondary tier 4 tower they go. The Ancient will be exposed in just a moment as Boris will wave them goodbye. Oh, the Ancient is
Can't
going.
stop
Where are they
this.
going? They're looping around. They're trying to go after Empyrean, but everyone else is just ignoring them. Going after the Ancient. Empyrean, he might drop. That's one down. But the Ancient, look how low it is. Boris, he'll just focus it down. The game's over. What a comeback coming out from American Goons. Woo. They have done it. The good luck's come out from the cut. And I mean, for the cut, John, that's got to be...